Welcome to another day in a life. Today we are at the launch of the new Honda Amaze. So this is A and B segment type of car. It is a compact sedan, so basically same segment as the Suzuki Desire, Toyota Etios, Nissan Almera, things like that. And this is the third generation of the Honda Amaze. So it's been refreshed, received a lot more features, still carrying on the same engine from the previous generation, which is a 1.2 liter four-cylinder engine, which makes about 66 kilowatt and 110 newton meters of torque. There are two derivatives that you can choose from. There is a Trend and there is Comfort. So you can either get it with a 5-speed manual transmission or a CVT transmission. Currently we're driving the entry level, which is Trend, and it comes with this 5-speed manual transmission. I'm gonna get on to drive it and I'm gonna share my first impression of this new Honda Amaze, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and where it fits in the segment. Alrighty, so you join us at the launch of the new Honda Amaze, and yeah, so this is our first drive impression. Shane, what do you think of the new Amaze?
So I think, personally speaking, I haven't driven first or second generation, but driving this, and recently having just driven the competitor last week, you did too, the new Suzuki Desire, this definitely feels a lot better in terms of pep. I mean, the Suzuki has a 1.2 liter 3-cylinder engine. This is a 1.2 liter 4-cylinder engine. The figures are pretty much immersive, the same, they're very identical, but what's very interesting, the Suzuki feels like it has a lot more punch low down. But the Honda has legs. That's what I'm finding interesting, and that's what that extra cylinder will do. Definitely. In terms of ride quality, look, at the same time, you can't expect S-Class, but it really is good. It's better than a lot of other cars I've driven probably this year already.
Really?
Yeah, interestingly enough. But I think the car's good. They're pretty bang on. Pricing is a bit more expensive than the Suzuki, but for me personally,
we're looking at what, 25 to 30 grand more.
Yeah, but I prefer the interior of this to the Suzuki.
Yeah,
it's a much better place to be.
Yeah, also better pointed.
Yeah, definitely. This also comes in an all black interior trim, which is nice.
Yeah.
The Desire had a bit of a creamy beige white interior, which is worrisome if it doesn't come in other trim levels.
Yeah, definitely hard to clean.
Very hard to clean.
Prone to stain quite easily. So
yeah,
something to look in, especially when you're in the e-hailing services.
Oh yes.
Or you are like a first-time buyer with like a small family. You have a kid. You know, kids, they're always touching things. So
they're wiping their hands everywhere. You're gonna get chocolates on your seats. Yeah, it's gonna be terrible. But so, we're gonna be driving the CVT on this a bit later. But Jan is only driving the manual now. I drove the manual for a couple hours already. I do love it a lot. I love manuals in general.
Yep.
I know for a fact that this will be better than the CVT. Look, Honda are very good at making CVTs. I will give them that. The only problem with CVTs is that, especially on the highway and when you want to overtake someone, the car really screams into the stratosphere. The revs go up, it ruins the fuel consumption. It's not a pleasant experience. I'm not saying don't get it if you want an automatic. If you want an auto and you're not going to be driving like Michael Schumacher, get one.
Definitely.
But if you really like the enjoyment of having control over what the car is going to be doing, get the manual. Definitely. It's a 5-speed manual. It's definitely worthwhile. Same with Suzuki. They also have their 4-speed automatics. Look, it is a proper automatic, although the new Desire is a CVT. So just once again, go for the manual. Definitely go for the manual. It's cheaper.
Much more engaging.
Much more engaging.
For these small engine, I always tell people, like, if you want to extract quite a lot out of these small engine, you gotta use the manual transmission, because CVT and automatic will feel a little bit lazy, especially when going uphill.
Yes.
Like you know, be there, but with the manual transmission, you can go up and down and kind of have more control of your driving speed compared to driving with an automatic transmission. So
no, 100%. As well as just in general, the manual is going to be ever so slightly lighter in fuel. Honda do claim that both the manual and the CVT Amaze will average 5.5 liters per 100. We'll yet to see that.
Yeah.
For example,
currently sitting at 7.4. I mean, Michael Schumacher here was driving spiritedly. So.
I really was. I was trying to prove that I could be the next Max Verstappen, but no, it's not going to be happening anytime soon.
Okay, some key standout point features here. We're looking at what? The infotainment, much more attractive than the competitors, and Oh, we get keyless entry across the whole range,
Yes.
which is interesting, which is good. Is it really needed? Not really, but it's a good comfort feature, like, feature
Yes.
to have around. And what else? You get automatic climate control, which is good. The competition, such as Suzuki Desire, also has the same. And
The Amaze comes with a 6-speaker audio system, as well as the comfort trim level have 6 airbags as
Yep.
well. And what's also really interesting, I want to try this out a bit later, is that the Comfort CVT, you actually have remote control engine start. So I do want to give that a go. That's rather interesting. I know that's quite a big feature that the Chinese punt
yeah.
with their cherries and things like that, where you can start the engine from the remote. I didn't really find it necessary, but it's going to be interesting to see how it works in the Honda.
Alrighty, so you join us on board of the top derivative Comfort CVT. Interestingly, for this type, A segment car, they give you paddle shifters. What would you do with that?
I don't know.
With 66 kilowatts and 110 newton meters of torque, I don't really think you need paddle shifters here, or even a sport mode. Don't you agree?
Yeah, no, I agree fully. I don't think you need them at all.
But interesting. Differences here compared to the entry level, you do get wireless charging,
You get your 7-inch digital
instrument cluster, which displays all the right informations.
This has the 6-speaker audio system.
Yeah, and you get tweeters on the side. Here you get padding for your harbor. Here, the doors, which you don't get
you
in
didn't get the on the trend.
the trend. Seats are all cloth upholstery, so leather here. I don't think leather will make much sense for an entry level car of this type. Yeah. Basically, still drives still the same engine. The engine was actually borrowed from the previous generation, but they say the transmission have received a little bit of tweaks. So gear ratios have improved, which not really able to see that because we didn't drive the previous generation. So,
But in terms of boot capacity, previous generation had 420 liters of boot space. This has 416.
16.
So even though it's down by 4 liters, I don't think it's really end of the world.
Okay.
Unless you're transporting things that are, I don't know, volume or mass sensitive, it's still very much good value.
And if you compare it to its direct rival, which we drove last week, and that has 376
Yes.
liters, so
Quite a bit small.
quite a bit smaller. So for someone starting up the cupcake flour business, that extra 60 liters
Makes
or
a
so
difference, yeah.
makes a difference. So yeah, you can squeeze in 1 more or 2 orders in there. What I can say is that the interior is much more attractive than its rival. Definitely. You feel like in a much more expensive car compared to
The
Desire. Interesting. The 4-cylinder engine here, the new Honda Amaze, makes it a little bit more comfortable and more, easier to live with compared to the 3-cylinder, which kind of runs a little bit higher. You can hear it quite a lot compared to those 4-cylinder. Feels much more composed and feels a little bit, I won't say classy, but it feels
It feels a bit more at home. It's more comfortable.
So yeah, I mean it's the same size 1.2, so
Yes.
on the outside you get fully LED headlights.
You've got the automatic headlights.
Yeah.
You've got daytime running lights, LED daytime running lights, as well as LED fog lights. That's also new.
Interesting. And apparently the lights turn as well as you turn.
Yes, in
Yeah.
the direction that you're going to be turning. That is
So,
true.
which is-
And at the end of the day, this fits pretty nicely in that entry-level sedan market just after the Suzuki Desire. Look, the Suzuki Desire is a heavyweight for what it is. Suzuki are still dominating in comparison to a lot of the Eastern manufacturers coming in. But Honda are very much still going strong and proud. They have their well-renowned engines, which last just about forever, which is fantastic. And I don't think it's going to be any different with this.
I mean, in terms of service plan, I'm gonna put it here on the screen. But is it better than the competition? Are they offering better coverage than Suzuki? Do you think so? It's 4 years?
So Honda is 4 years, 60,000 kilometers service plan. They
Yep.
also have a 5-year, 200,000 kilometers warranty, as well as a 3-year roadside assistance plan as well. So in terms of Suzuki, I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see who does offer more and what could be a bit better.
Yeah. probably have to put it somewhere here.
Yes.
Screen.
Have a look.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say, despite the fact that the suspension is slightly hard and the roads are bumpy and you do feel the bumps,
Yeah.
it does raise a good question. I don't hear any creaks or rattles.
Yeah, which is good.
So build quality is definitely right up there.
So you heard it. That's pretty much our first impression of the new Honda Amaze. Does it stand out to what we expect from cars of this segment? Yes, kind of exceeds quite a little bit. And yeah, what are your final thoughts?
Final thoughts, I think it's good to see that Honda are still bringing the Amaze into the country, given the global shift to crossover SUVs and subcompact SUVs. It is nice that they still have this as an option, and they do still feel that they need to have a bit of a threshold on their market share here in South Africa. Yes, they have brought in their fair share of crossover SUVs. We have these CRV, HRV, BRV,
So,
yeah,
a lot of V's.
There's a lot of them.
Hopefully we get this on test sometime soon, or run you through the full in-depth review, the ins and outs. But yeah, that's our first thought on this new Honda Amaze.
Yeah, it's pretty great. And guys, just want to say we got this far in the video. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button below. Subscribe to Jan's channel. It does go a long way. It helps us create because it allows us to get invited to more events like this, get more press cars, give you more exclusive content, and be first to share what's new and what's out there.
Yeah.
It really does go a long way. To you it might not seem like much, to us it means the world. Because behind the scenes, behind this little video will be hours and hours and hours of editing.
Yep.
A lot of rejection emails and
A lot of grunt work.
a lot of grunt work, and a lot of just consistent perseverance and grit, and it goes a long way. So
Yep.
by all means necessary, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and share it with a friend.
And yeah, if you find this review insightful, please don't forget to leave a comment. And yeah, tell me what you would like to see next. And also add Shen's channel and socials on the bio and
Thank
somewhere
you.
there on the screen. And yeah, follow him. So we are some content creators of the same pack. So
Yes.
definitely you'll find some cool and high quality content curated with us right here. So
Likewise.
yeah, and that's us. We're out.